Hello again. Curiosity's now gotten the better of me, so I've decided to do a video on this Murphy painted black and white TV. As you can see for obvious reasons, it's got a lot of paint splashed on it. This one came from a local recycling centre, and it was going to go through the jaws of death, or the crushing machine, whatever they put all the appliances through, and I managed to save it before it actually went through there, due to a friend of mine who works there and happens to keep an eye out for all these old TVs and things for me, which is really good. I've actually acquired a few TVs actually this way, and yeah, so I looked and I thought, oh, do I wreck it? Do I just not bother? And I thought, well, hang on, the thing might actually, I may even be able to get parts out of it, even better, the thing might actually work. So I don't know what the state of it is electronically. All I've done is put a power cord on it, because the power cord had been chopped off. And this is pretty much as far as I've gone with it, actually. I did pull the chassis out and looking behind it, and to make sure everything was there, which it was. Of course, all the paint's been splattered all over the components as well. So yeah. There's a quick look at the controls. There's your Murphy, and interesting, the actual channel indicator disc has actually moved, because yeah, they shouldn't. That actual disc, the whole bloody thing's loose. Tell you what, if I grab that possibly, oh yeah, maybe something else spinning around. Might be able to get the one to come up here again. So yeah, as you can see, the whole entire disc has actually moved. So you'd have to probably get your, yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I mean, you can easily see that it's there anyway. So I think one's probably up there, possibly. I'm not too sure. Probably one through the channel one through to 9. So yeah, no, there. Volume, pitcher, brightness, contrast, and that's probably tone. Off and tone. That was a pretty common manufacturing brand here, Fisher and Paykel. They made whiteware and fridges, washing machines, all that sort of thing. And Fisher and Paykel was just another brand name that they put on stuff in New Zealand in the 60s and 70s. It's actually got headphone sockets too, 1 and 2 there. So obviously, you know, it must have been quite a deluxe TV in its time, having headphone sockets. Well, there we are. We've got super signal. Well, actually be super nil probably, because the signal's gone. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, that badge is actually broken. So I took a razor blade to the scraper razor blade to the screen, and managed to get all the paint off it. You can see there's sort of a fair bit sitting down there, and someone sprayed some red paint at the top there as well. So yeah, and the cabinets, obviously the cabinet's been used as a workbench, or actually looks like the cabinets. I dare say it's probably been dragged on its top by its power cord. So yeah, the cabinet's pretty stuffed actually. You can see the paint over it. The paint's everywhere. The other side too, I think, is pretty much the same. So yeah, it's all bloody scratched and what have you. So yeah, it's pretty much just pretty rough condition. So what I'll do, I'll just spin this around, and sorry about this, guys. Make it a bit easier for editing if I just try and do things all in one go rather than making spaces. And here's the general view of the chassis. Get that locked in there a bit more to sort of see it a bit better. So yeah, pretty much the same chassis as that other one we looked at last night. This is actually a later set, going by the components and everything that are in there as well. It's not as old as the other Murphy. Yeah, pretty much just covering what I showed you last night on this briefly. It least with this one, the yoke isn't falling to pieces, so that's a start. But like I said, I will probably actually end up taking the yoke off this and put it on the other one when I get around to actually getting it going eventually. So, yes. Let's put the fine tuning in there. Here's your tuner hiding up in there. God, those valves would be a pain to change, wouldn't they? Man, up there to change those valves, far out. Right, actually, if you pull the tuner out to get those valves. And there's a high quality, high flux speaker for you there. It's probably 3 or 4 ohms, something like that. Gave it a wee bit of a dust as well. Just sort of had a sneezing fit before because of all the dust irritated my nose. So, yeah. But hey, this is part of the joys of mucking around old TVs, really, isn't it? Good old Ducon. Good old Ducon electrolytic capacitors. There's a few more there. 10 mic at 400, 50 mic at 350, 100 at 350, and 100 mic at 200. Those ones are probably part of the voltage doubling circuit, I dare say, 2 100 microfarads. And you can hear all the bangs and pops and crackles and whistling. It's actually, well, it's Guy Fawkes here tomorrow night, but being a Friday night, it's the 4th of November, being a Friday night, everyone's getting into it early. So if you hear any bangs, it's not the TV going up in smoke, it's firecrackers going off outside. So what I'll do is I've actually got the circuit out for this TV, or one that's very similar. It's called the actual chassis is called, it's actually AWA, but the chassis is pretty much these chassis we used over a vast number of TVs. I might just turn the backlighting off here. So let's see what will happen. I'll turn the backlight compensation off. It's interesting, I can't. Why can't I turn that off for? Oh, okay, fine. I'll try and do it with the backlighting on, because it seems to be quite bright. As long as you can see it, I suppose that's the main thing. But that's pretty much what the AWA sets look like. One of my sets is actually that one there, but in a console form, and the other one I've got looks very much like that one there. So there's sort of quite a few different variants there. So 35 series Mark II, but this is pretty much a very similar circuit to actually what's in there, because I looked at all the valves, and all the valves pretty much line up with what's on the circuit. So we'll make a start here. We've got here our first video IF here. So 6BZ6. Second video IF is 6EW6. Third video IF 6CB6. And we've got video amplifier is 6EB8. That says 1/2 there, so the other half, oh here we are, the other half is the sync separator, so one of those multi-function valves. Video controls is 6CG7. Move down here, we've got noise gate, AGC and sync switch, 6HS8, 6BU8, sync amp 6EB8. Vertical oscillator 6CG7 must be part of the video control, another multifunction valve. Vertical output is a 6EM5. Now moving down here to a horizontal section, we've got our phase discriminator as an EB91 6AL5. Buffer horizontal oscillator 6CG7. Here's our flyback section. Horizontal output 6M5EL36, 6AU4 damper, and 1B3 GT high voltage rectifier. Now picture tube, there's a number of different types there. We've got 23CB4 A59/16W, 23HP4 and 23HP4S. So obviously various different types of tubes were used in these as well. Now sound side of things, we've got 6AU6 a sound IF, 6AR5 ratio detector, 6AV6 audio amp and AGC clamp, and audio output 6AQ5 EL90. So yeah, there's actually quite a few valves in this set actually. One thing about these circuits, and they're really nice because they have all the voltage markings in red and all the waveforms there. You know, really nice circuits actually to work with on these chassis. Hello bug. It looks like a sandfly or something. Can stay there. Television receiver chassis 35 series model SC52, L52, DL52 and FL52. That'd be probably the variants of the cabinets and chassis and models and stuff like that. The book actually just goes through and just receiver specifications and voltage measurements and so forth. So all your specifications and stuff like that. Channel selection, video and sound. So yeah, quite a informative manual, sort of explaining how each section works and so forth, and test pad attenuators for doing alignment and so forth. Yeah, so there's your receiver alignment there, covering everything. Video F alignment, etc, etc. The response curves and so forth. Yeah, so your specification, circuit description again. Your valve layout there. So you have picture adjustments, deflection coil adjustments, and focus, horizontal oscillator adjustments, and then all your voltage measurement pages and so forth. And there's your voltage measurement chart table there. So yeah, overall, yeah, quite a nicely laid out circuit actually. It shows you how to. Oh goodness, great! Here we go. Here's all the changes too. Here's all the changes at the back here as well. A few modification changes, and then the parts lists. So if you ring them up and try and order a video peaking coil, probably get laughed. The company will be long gone now. There's all your resistor and capacitor values and what they should be. So yeah, overall, quite a nice service manual really overall. There's a quick look at the manual there for you. So yeah, okay. I think what we'll do is. Probably actually test the picture tube, I think, at this stage. I've got my CRT tester out. It's dying to get on the tube socket of this TV. Okay, so excuse me. Okay, so. What's it not going on for? Oh, there we go. There we go, that's it. some life there. Okay. So we are on 6.3 there. .3. Okay. Right. HK heater leakage, good. G1 leakage, no. Ground voltage again. It's about, again, all the tube is similar. It's about 45, as per the book. Set the cut-off voltage. You see, this is what I mean. Again, we've got very little deflection there. So I wonder what the emissions are like. Okay. That's interesting, because that's pretty much the same as the result I was getting last night. Again, virtually no cut-off. Very little cut-off at all. But we get emission. Okay. That's interesting. I'm actually wondering whether there might be a fault in this thing. Possibly, maybe that cutoff, maybe the cutoff control's not working, or something actually gone wrong in here internally. Oh, hang on, I know a way to find this one out. I know exactly how to find this out. Because I know the picture tube on the Telluride TV is excellent. So, what I'm going to do is take this off. And put this on. Now, I know for a fact that the tube in this one, this picture tube in this set is excellent, so I'm curious to see what results we get from this. Okay. Where are we? Just a 6.3, which has been there. Okay. Again, about 45. Hang on, here we go. No, that is working. Now that's working fine. Now the book says to do it, deflection goes just to 0, which is about there. Well, look at that. And we know that the CRT and the Telluride is excellent, so that one must be tired or very weak, because going by this here, the cutoff is working. No, this is fine. That's tired, so that kind of it might be curtains for it, I don't know, but I'm very curious to actually put power on it using the Variac and actually seeing if I do get any kind of life out of this thing. Okay. Alright, so, okay, that's interesting. Very, very interesting. Alright, what I might do, I might just pause it and show you the underside of the chassis, and then we'll put some power on and see what happens.